do? Are you ready?
Strike Force.
Oh, just strike. Oh, yeah.
That's a good game.
Yeah, baby.
You're in it, you know.
I am. Oh, yeah.
What are we doing today?
Well, we are doing yet another episode of what? Gaming with Intention, the Bodhana-cast.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so you're here, which is convenient, because I just apparently have a camera built into my wall that I can just go, and it starts up almost automatically.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That one?
That one, yeah.
So they can
I know
hear,
who you
like,
are.
right now.
I saw what you did. What? Yes. Everything.
I don't apologize for anything.
It's no regrets. Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. Welcome to Gaming with Intention, the Bodhana-cast.
Where is podcast land?
Podcast land?
There's a lot of shows that, like, hello, everyone out there in podcast land. I would like to know where this place is and who our target market is.
I think that, in all fairness to Petticoat Junction, I think it's near Hooterville.
Hooterville sounds nice.
Hooterville, that's a bunch of owls. Yes, that's a joke for the kids. That's the news, and I am... As your parents, maybe...
Hi, I'm James Kirk, and I am one of the hosts of this show. You can also refer to me as, hey, idiot, not you, Captain.
Strike that. Reverse it. Thank you. Yes.
Also the Captain.
Yes.
I am a volunteer for Bodhana and thirsty.
And I am Jack Berkenstock. I'm the executive director of the Bodhana Group. We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming for education, skill building, and therapy. And we have decided
sounds nice.
to... Oh, it's absolutely lovely.
We should talk about that.
Yes, we are. And we are going to today.
We could probably make a show out of that.
You know what?
Write that down.
Okay. That camera in the wall could come in very handy for just such a thing.
Decent idea.
Camera in wall. Tell main office I said, ow. Gotcha. So, on every episode of the Bodhana-cast, what we do is we review a board game, but we review it from a slightly different perspective than what you're normally used to.
Yes,
so,
we review it only looking at it like this.
Wow, look at them there trees just hanging all up there. Nice, very nice. All right, multiple definitions to words. But we review them from the idea of what skills can this game work on, what ways can we use this for more than just fun, which is automatically a benefit of most board games and such that are out there. So, with all of that in mind, we usually open the show with an opening bit, and this actually, if you're a long-time listener, watcher, part of the audience out there in podcast land, dear east of Hooterville. Look at me, I'm like a news reporter. It's like, dear east of Hooterville, we have reports that last week giant kaiju monsters almost destroyed podcast land.
Isn't he fun?
Yes, I
get this all the time.
Only when the meds don't work. So, one of the big things that we have been striving for on the Bodhana-cast is we are in a constant search to establish ourselves as a research-driven podcast.
Facts.
Facts!
True
Just the facts.
things based in facts and truth.
Facts is in the outdated machine that sends images across the telephone line?
That's the one, Jimmy. And
That's
then
the one, Jimmy.
also truthiness about said facts, which is out there. So you should go find it.
So today...
Thanks, Chris Carter. And now back to you.
Yes, so today we're going to be talking about a wonderful little game called Photosynthesis. So in the spirit of this, being that photosynthesis is a scientific principle in which plants utilize sunlight to manufacture C6H12O6, which is a specialized kind of sugar.
You do that a lot too. Like when you're trying to say something that sounds official, you all of a sudden find yourself breaking into a different sort of voice. One that may sound like carries more kind of depth or truth behind it. There's no way that you could possibly argue with this voice.
Well, of course, I knows that if you're British, you can't possibly lie, and everything you say is absolutely 100% truthful.
And now, we go to Morgan Freeman.
Do it.
And that was the point when the show began to break down. James and Jack knew that they had to get things back on track. There was only one way to do it, and it was to begin reading about science.
There was no way that they could have provided. I don't do a good Morgan Freeman. It slides into like a southern, like, and I love buying Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know? KFC? No?
Moving on.
Yeah, so they're not a sponsor, so, forget KFC if you want. But what I've done is, because photosynthesis is science, I have decided to do some research to educate our podcast audience on some other great principles of science. So photosynthesis, of course, I've already defined. So,
and I appreciate the notes that you provided me as well, so that I can follow along.
I want to make sure that we are.
It was good. You did the research this time.
Simpatico.
I apologize that last time I made a mockery of our attempt to do so, but I trust that you got this done. So
well, I hope that I will make it right because
it
science.
Looks great.
All right. So first, everybody out there is, of course, Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity. So the theory of general relativity is basically it's a numeric constant that helps you recognize the same people at family reunions every year. So like it's generally relative to the amount of times you see them during the year, and also the fact of how close as a relative they are to you. So thereby it's general relativity.
I see what happened.
What happened?
Try this page.
Wait. So, tells us about, space and time are not absolute. Gravity is not simply force applied to an object or mass. Gravity associated with any mass curves the very space and time. Got you. Sorry. My bad. I'll do better. I'll do better. Okay.
Sorry.
Thermodynamics. So thermodynamics, I basically could only find through my research several basic laws to thermodynamics, and as I read them, I got to understand what thermodynamics are. So the rules are, and I'll read them in a certain type of voice. You can't win. You can't break even. You can't quit the game. So as we all know, of course, from the symbol 3 principle, thermodynamics is relative to how much drama is created in an action-adventure movie based on the level of heat from the size of the explosion that occurs. So, like if you're walking away and the explosion, knocks the guy forward in the thing, that is a high level of thermodynamics. Right?
That's not what this says at all.
What does your paper say?
It's how energy works in a system. Whether it's an engine or the Earth's core.
Well, like an engine, like a fast-moving car, and like an action. No.
Let's move on to the last one.
Okay, so the last one is avocado's number. It's the number of units. It's basically the quotient, okay, that is used to define the proper amount of guacamole that one puts into a burrito.
Oh my God.
Which is, you need one dollop per 6.022140857 times 10 to the 23rd power rice and chicken. So that's avocado's number. It's right here. Look. I did the research.
Jack.
What? Did I get that one wrong too?
If I accept this, do we just consider ourselves even?
Maybe.
At this point?
I don't know. Did I get it wrong?
You didn't research this at all. It's Avogadro's number.
But was the number right, though? The number was right. 6.02140857 times 10 to the 23rd power.
Yes. But that's Avogadro.
I don't know that dude.
It's 1 mole of any substance. It's a molecular weight.
Oh!
So, it's used to...
Well, that's different.
Yes.
Never mind. Research-driven podcast, The Quest continues.
I really believed in you.
I believed in me as well.
I assumed that you would not stoop to my level.
I believe in crystal light because I believe in me.
I could not be more proud of you, actually.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I actually just had one of my favorite burritos, Rob Burrito, Lancaster, New York area. They're great.
Good guy.
Ton of...
Thanks, Rob.
Yes.
For your burritos.
And for the double B. So, no, sincerely, we're going to go ahead and introduce you to the game today, which is
Photosynthesis.
We need like an echo effect. You were making one.
Yes.
Okay. So the company is Blue Orange Games, which is
Pick one.
No stranger to Bodhana.
I assumed with no research that you were just gonna make up a. Okay. No, it is Blue Orange Games.
Blue Orange Games. That means it's been sitting out on the shelf for way too long. But the game is actually a relatively new game. It was put out in 2017. The designer is Halmar Hach. Time to play is roughly between 30 to 60 minutes. There's as always, add a little bit more when you're learning any kind of game.
I can verify that because once you get used to the game mechanics, it moves pretty quickly.
Yes. Great, Hera, there's a lot of rules.
Hera has nothing to do with it.
I'm a Wonder Woman cup. So, ages are 10 plus, because it is
I got the connection now.
a
Good
very
job.
simple
Yeah,
game
well
to
done.
pick up, like you had said.
Smooth.
Players are between 2 to 4. Sweet spot, of course, as referenced through BoardGameGeek.com, is 3 players, which actually makes pretty good sense for this. So,
Like an anteater's posterior.
Anteater's posterior. What are you doing? Come back here and... Definitely ask your grandparents in this episode.
Wow.
So what is the spirit of the game, James? Can we summarize photosynthesis?
Trees!
Good night, everybody. What?
You are competing for sun in a grove of trees. You're attempting to create and grow trees and then be able to harvest the soil that the trees enrich. Again, another point-based game at the end to score victory, but a lot of really nifty mechanics involved, which we will discuss. But
yeah, one of the things about photosynthesis, I mean, beyond the fact that it is a very colorful and pretty game, I mean, you have these wonderful little cardboard tree standouts here, and they come in varying sizes.
Can you do
with
me a
4
favor?
colors.
You mind
Yes, sir.
fixing the one in the front there? The thing's been driving me nuts
Which one?
since we started. It's like
Oh, it's all notchy?
yeah,
Okay.
not that one. The one next to it, the little blue guy.
This one?
Yeah, the one he's like.
Oh, yeah, I
He's
see.
sitting kinda
Oh, no! He had too much sap last night.
Sorry, it's my OCD.
On my family tree, I'm in the sap section.
Yeah, it's my OCD acting up. I'm sorry.
Not a problem. Isn't it CDO?
Ha!
Hey, classic joke. I'm a therapist. Does that mean I can make jokes?
Yep.
Not quite sure.
That's why I felt safe.
So yeah, the type of game essentially, it's a worker placement game. It's also resource management, a little bit of take that, as they call it, and ooh, it's very pretty. Which it really is, as a lot of good little pieces, like we had said. So, how you win, like James had introduced us to, is you basically take little seedlings, which are your little token guys, and you grow them up to nice and tall, strong trees full of nutrients. Then you uproot them from the ground and you get one of these little...
And then once they're gorgeous, you destroy them.
Good roots, everyone!
Remove them from the board. Get your points and move on, because that's what Mother Nature is going to do to you.
Mother Nature destroys everything. But yeah, you get these little token that have point values on the bottom, and basically there are 4 different levels to the soil. There's 1 leaf, 2 leaf, 3 leaf, 4 leaf, and each of those contain different levels and of hierarchy of a point. What?
I just think you reduced it to a Dr. Seuss book. I think it's fantastic.
Red leaf, blue leaf.
1 tree,
Right.
2 tree, red tree, blue tree.
Yes. If a tree grows on a game board and no one is there, can you really count how long it takes to play? Yeah, the coolness about this is again, there's a lot of different mechanics that come along with this game. So how do you get there? Is one of the basics that we always talk about.
Everybody starts with a certain number of trees that they can build and purchase on, and then a board that has the different types and sizes of trees. There's 3 different tallness factors.
Yeah.
Goes like a wireless signal right here. And then little seeds that you can purchase from as well. The seeds, I'm sorry. The seeds, you germinate from where your tree is sitting to somewhere else that is adjacent to that tree on the board. And then as
so it's like schnitzel.
Yes.
Because you germinate it.
It's exactly like schnitzel. That's exactly...
Right.
Something wrong with you.
There's
Yes, there is. So, as the sun goes down on me and moves around the board, this is the sun.
See, now you're doing it, Elton John now. Very nice.
You're welcome.
Alright.
There
I'm still standing.
are 6 positions that the sun rotates in around the board. And there are arrows on the sun to show you which way the sunlight is going to face and shine on the board. So you follow the lines, and every tree that is in line with the sun, it generates points based on how large the tree is. And you get a cumulative total of what are called sun points, which is what you use to purchase more seeds, taller trees, things of that nature.
Now, one of the interesting things, though, about very nice. All right, there's tons of tree puns.
Oh my god! Go ahead.
We got puns for days. Now, one of the cool parts about this, one of the strategy elements that we'll focus on a little bit more later, is that when you have different heights of trees, let's just say, for example, that in the path of your tree, you got like a 2-height tree in front of a 1-height tree. Well, the 2-height tree blocks the one in the path of the sun, so the 1-height tree doesn't get any sun points for that round. That's why it's good that the sun's moving around the board pretty much every round, so that way...
Because maybe next round, that tree will generate sun because nothing is in front of it when the sun changes position as it goes around the board.
Yes. So a lot of good changing strategy element that goes around the board. And
there is some planning ahead to know like where to build new trees. Planting ahead.
We got yucks for days, folks.
We're gonna stop now. We're gonna stop now.
We will? Okay, so James, tell me.
Yes, Jack.
What else do you use these sun points for? So we obviously can plant seeds. What else are these sun points good for?
Well, Jack, that's a wonderful question. I'm very glad you asked. Another thing that we can do is we can spend sun points to take a height 2 tree and replace a height 1 tree from the board, and then put the height 1 tree back into the place of things that you can purchase from.
Ooh, so nature has limited resources.
Nature has limited resources. So do you, because you have to buy them from your board first to put them in your available area.
It would kind of be like a ready room, right, Wesley?
Yes. And then you would take from your
ready room, it works.
And then place it on the board. If, let's just say, you have all of your height 2 trees filled on this board, and you get rid of a height 2 tree from the board, if you don't have anywhere to place it,
back in the box.
It goes out of the game. Not always necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to sacrifice your resources. That's omelets and eggs.
Another interesting thing kind of going on with use of sun points, when you plant a seedling, whether it's an acorn or, whatever form it takes based on what kind of tree you have, you're able to plant it a distance away relative to the height of the tree. So the taller your tree, the further you can extend your reach. So there's a lot of resource management in this game, a lot of advanced strategy to consider. Which is interesting and good because the game has kind of a limited range. If you're playing kind of a standard round, basically you have 3 full revolutions of the sun for this game before it is over. If you want to play kind of an extended game, expert version, whatever you call it, you actually get 4 rounds. So you only got, between 18 to 24 moves until the game's over. And most of the time, like, you're going to start the basic game by putting 2 1-trees down, so everybody starts kind of even-steven, so to speak, with 2 sun points. So it kind of has this nice little slow climb and build-up, but, by the end of the game, there's a lot of different types of strategies that work out. So, again, as far as the basics, you're planting trees, growing trees, uprooting trees to get the nutrients, dropping seeds, blocking each other, gathering sunlight. It's a very, very wonderful game.
Also, you will reminisce quite fondly about the police.
What?
Don't plant so,
Oh
don't
God.
plant so, don't plant so close to me.
Oh, you got me, you so-and-so.
I did. I'm awesome.
So if you wanted to play a board game, what kind of board game would you play?
Well, I think praying is a personal thing, and
No, it's...
not. No, I understand what it is.
What's the switcheroo? Yes. So, do you want to move into our next
Yes,
segment
please
here?
do.
We just did all that we wanted to do. So, as always, a couple of different warnings and such that we give as far as the Bodhana-cast Gaming with Intention out to you. We always want to make you aware of different side effects that might be there. We talk a lot about the positives of gaming, but we always want to make sure that, the other side of that coin, flipping, is represented equally as well. So here are a list of, and actually there's quite a few side effects to this game. Because
There's a lot that can happen.
Science effects?
Well,
Not
science effects, yeah.
Do you want to
special effects?
Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, because you are trying to be in direct sunlight throughout the entire game, I would like to give a special sunburn warning to gingers.
Okay. Fair
careful.
enough. Fair enough.
SPF, whatever you need.
The second warning, you will begin to develop a special affinity towards anything Bob Ross.
It's all going to be happy little accidents.
Happy little trees, gonna put it right there. And if you tell anybody about that bush.
Yeah. So also creating paper like placemats using leaves that you find in the backyard and that you like wax seal onto stuff. You're now a murderer.
Wow, that escalated quickly. Number 2, the lodge. Number 2, the lodge.
Ask your parents.
Ask your grandparents. Again. We're going way back.
Yeah.
A lot of rings on that joke.
Right. Yeah. You start converting sunlight into complex sugars.
C6H12O6.
Yep.
Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. You put a seed back on a tree because that tree already planted that turn. So you start trying to fix nature to conform to the rules of photosynthesis.
You just turn into a free and carefree, loving, free spirit of freeness, hugging a tree when you're near it, digging out the snow, and the rain so it gets like the brightest sunshine possible for all of the trees in your yard.
Dragging the line?
Dragging the line.
Dragging the line. Dragging the line. I feel fine. I'm talking about peace, sunshine. What? Photosynthesis.
Yeah, you suddenly love Barbara Walters' interviews.
Yes, that was the, what kind of twee would you be?
Yeah.
And again, I'm the sap. So, yes, those are your special warnings. Hey, there's other jokes that are worse. Thanks, Rodney. That's a Rodney Dangerfield joke that, of course, I borrowed. I didn't really steal it. So, what skills does this develop, and in what ways does it do so? Do you want...
Well, I sure will tell you, this game's got some critical thinking involved in it.
Wow, that is so uncommon
There's
for a board game to
so
have critical
few
thinking.
games that have critical thinking in them. Almost all of them.
Well, why don't you tell us what kind of critical thinking it has there, bud?
So, critical thinking at this point is being able to play Weatherman, and hopefully you're better at it than Channel 5. I'm gonna wait until the rest of you have gotten done nodding your heads.
Oh, wow.
I'm still
Okay.
waiting. All right.
All
So,
right, so-
as the sun is going around the board, you're trying to predict the sun's movement, path that it's going to take, and then being able to know where to build trees or when to make trees go up a level to maximize the amount of sunlight that the trees can get so you can score maximum points. Sometimes you give people pieces of advice on where to put trees specifically so they score 0 points during that round.
I did that once. And I'm still paying for it.
It wasn't to me either. This is because I have sympathy for another person.
Hey, don't worry, it's cool, man.
He did it too.
Wink. That's a little pocket, little inside baseball there. But no, you're definitely not wrong, James. I mean, in terms of the critical thinking, it's not only where you're placing the trees and where you're growing the trees, but it's also the decision about how exactly to allocate all of those sun points that you're getting. Because, like you said, if you try to grow trees and you don't have a available spot in that board area, you're losing trees. So the amount of resource management for the long game.
Well, and the
It's
fact
pretty
that
critical as well,
that you don't just
right?
buy directly from the board, so you have to plan essentially 2 turns ahead. Because you have to take a turn. If you don't have something available, you're going to have to take a turn to purchase it from your board to make it available so that next turn you can put it out on the board.
And
Right? So
yeah,
it's a lot of planning ahead.
yeah, and a fair bit of resiliency kind of tied into that. I mean, because someone before you can go ahead and make one of those moves, or all of a sudden that 2 tree grows up into a 3 tree, and now all of a sudden you're blocked, so you're not getting the sun points that you wanted to be able to, I mean, even if that player intentionally told you where to incorrectly put a tree, but
And if that person happens to put a level 3 tree right smack dab in the center of the board, they are the biggest jerk.
yeah, oh, it's horrible, because that pretty much blocks out one entire row
Every round.
of trees.
I may or may not have been that person.
You were that person.
I was that
But everyone is at least at one time. Because the Grinch's trees grew 3 sizes that day.
Oh
So-
my God. No.
So what I will cover the next one. How's that? So one of the other kind of cool benefits to this is we actually found a lot of parallels, and you may remember a bunch of episodes, actually our first episode, and that special word I can't say that means the first of anything, it starts with an I, makes it sound like I'm growling when I say it. But education. There's actually a lot of very cool takeaways discussion-wise for this. I mean, one, we're talking about the basic act of photosynthesis, but we're also talking about the different way that nature is sometimes kind and sometimes nature is very cruel. We're talking about the process of, trees needing sunlight, and they can be blocked out by other trees. And it's also talking about the nutrients in the soil, that eventually trees, as beautiful and wonderful as they are.
And I'm glad that they based this on trees and not humans, because the game would not be called Photosynthesis, it would just be called Lunch. Way worse name for a game. And
Vivisection, the game.
having to
Welcome to the kill floor.
having to remove humans from the board to make them larger humans that
Wow.
would somehow just be terrible.
Or it could be a game based all around just different sizes of schmooze. Like, not the whole, I'm gonna get in good with you by, playing to your ego.
I'm not ignoring you, I'm just not answering you because I don't feel like you deserve it. So,
Come on, the shmoo! Oh, Herculoids. But yes, see, you came along.
I did.
But yeah, education-wise, it's very interesting, not only from the whole counting mechanics, the math that can kind of add in there, but just kind of pinning board games in this way to things in the classroom is a very good way to kind of get a little bit more of that kind of, you're seeing a visual representation of what it is that you're talking about. Plus, it's a great kind of fun free time activity during the game.
Yeah, and also it can bring about uncomfortable family conversations, because it will start with, "Mommy, how do trees grow?" And then you start talking about trees, and then eventually it goes to, "Where did I come from?" And then you put this away. Because we just don't have time to talk about that anymore.
We're not going to let it
We
slip.
should have added that to side effects.
We
really
totally
should have.
Yes. We're Where do acorns come from?
Trees lead to birds and bees.
What's Vietnam? So one of the final benefits to this is the whole idea of initiative, risk versus reward. There is a definite risk-reward system with the economy. I mean, we kind of highlighted a little bit of that conversation earlier where, your whole plan could be thrown asunder.
Sometimes managing your entire board that you want to purchase from and making sure that you never have to sacrifice anything in stock can actually harm what you're doing on the board.
Most definitely.
Because eventually, on the board, you won't necessarily need both of your really tall trees because you're getting to the end of the game. Maybe you just need one.
Yeah. I mean, the cost of them goes up the less that are in your common area store, but I mean, you're never really going to get, unless you spend to grow, you're never going to get the sun points available to buy what's in your store. So again, there's this constant reflexive nature to all the economy that goes in, and of course that resiliency, that take that mechanic, which is always kind of fun when you're talking about a competitive game. That whole, blocking out another player, that little satisfaction of steering them awry. Ha ha ha. So, our next segment is just some little takeaways. Some we kind of talked about as being like ways that we could directly use this, like in a classroom setting or something like that. But some creative things that you can do kind of from inspiration for this game.
So, planting your own seeds in the backyard with your kids, so that as that seed grows, you and the kids can watch it. And you can explain to them what stage it's at. You can be like, "This is a level 1 tree, and Tommy, if you stand on the other side of it, it's gonna die because it's not gonna get sunlight anymore."
Why are you killing trees, Tommy?
It's terrible.
Tommy, can you hear
stop
me?
it.
What?
All right. Or you can just plant things in the backyard and call them seeds. For example, you could tear off a piece of tinfoil and plant it in the ground, and approximately 4 months later, just stick a roll of tinfoil into the ground, and then maybe 3 months after that, because you've had enough time to construct tinfoil branches and stuff and spring that out. And then within a year, just to teach them the skill, go ahead and hang a grocery list on it with an envelope with some money so that they can go and buy the cereal, since they're the ones eating it.
Did the Hadron Collider just commit an experiment and I'm in an alternate universe? What is the fare for the journey you just took me on, sir?
Valuable.
Wow, yes, the money tree. It's also Shel Silverstein, isn't it? No, that's the giving tree.
Shel Silverstein.
Silverstein. Shel Silverstein always sounded like the type of seafood to me.
Also, go on nature walks.
Yeah, because those are fun.
Because that's where you find nature.
Yeah, I doubt. I mean, the only thing I guess you're not really going to see in nature is blue trees, unless again, let's harken back to a Dr. Seuss book. Blue trees? Really, blue?
Yeah.
There's a blue tree?
Coniferous trees.
Really?
Some of them are blue.
I thought they just called them blue fir, which totally sounds like a superhero name. I am the blue fir. I never shave.
Oh my god, it's a giant pile of hair.
What?
Ah!
His arch enemy, the Norelco. But yes, going on nature walks, getting the kind of chat started, wow, let's look at this tree. I mean, there's a lot of very cool things that you can kind of, put in there. But the game in itself, very, very nice, easy game to teach. Very cool game to play. About a lot of people have kind of looked at it and were like, what's all this cardboard tree nonsense kind of thing.
That's what I said.
But after playing it,
that's not true.
It's kind of.
I said, "Oh, that looks pretty."
Yeah.
Actually, I think if I remember correctly, Jack said, "Hey, we're gonna play this," and I went, "Okay."
Yeah, not quite as dramatic as you had initially intended for it to be.
No,
but that's okay.
Very simple.
That's okay.
It was very simple germination of how I.
What is it with you and the Germans today? Germinating it, now the Germination?
He planted the seed of enjoyment in my brain meats, and I let it grow.
Let it grow. Oh. So,
Not
That
a
is
Frozen reference.
that. It's already done. Frozen ground. That'll kill off trees too.
Let it go, Jeff.
All right, let it. Hey, wait. Oh, it's a switcheroo. So that is photosynthesis, everybody. As always, we want to say thank you for tuning in. Give you a couple of little short announcements again, if you have not heard, or if you are not in the know.
Or if this is your first episode.
Yeah, if this is your please go back, watch the back.
Thanks for not watching them in order.
What? So is there? We should start putting in like a Mendoza thing, like from The Simpsons, where there's like a little story that we're telling, but you have to put all the pieces together.
We can actually call it the
dreams.
Mendoza.
The Mendoza.
Like that'll be the answer to it. Like we'll just
Nice. That actually sounds like the name of a type of easy chair.
the punchline to the story that we'll be telling for 2 years is just get lost, clown. It's for no reason whatsoever.
I like that. We'll have to get like
Write that down.
Yeah, I don't have paper. You have my paper. You took away my carefully annotated research.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jack for all of the research that he did for this show today.
Woo! But if you would like to know more about therapeutic gaming, the use of board games or role-playing games in either an organization that you represent or in your private practice or in your home, feel free to email the Bodhana Group at thebodhanagroup@gmail.com. Visit us on the web at www.thebodhanagroup.org, or you can check us out on Facebook as well. And please remember that if you are new to the show and you want to catch up on our back catalog, these episodes are available via Facebook. What?
I'm not new to the show.
No.
Why did you gesture at me
here.
when you said that?
I don't, because you said
I'm not
if you're new to
new.
the show. No, you've been
Am I
here
some
for
kind of
years.
stranger for you? Oh,
What's
for
that?
years?
Well, we all have a face.
So it feels like I've been here for years.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time. If you want to go watch our back catalog, please check us out not only in our video format on Facebook or YouTube, but you can also check us out in audio format if you want to listen to us be goofy on your way to work or at work by going to iTunes or Stitcher, and you find us on the Wicked Turtle Network, which is thank you as always to Paul and Alex from Wicked Turtle Productions and the network for allowing us to be part of their wonderful family. They have some great content besides just James and I, which is, of course, the best content to have. But there's other great content as well.
Most of the time, it's the best content to have.
Most of the time, except
Even
when
if it feels like the first time, there are some times where I feel like I don't even know you anymore and you're some kind of foreigner.
And if you'd like to support the Bodhana Group and all of our endeavors, we do have a convention coming up in October of this year, 12th through the 14th. It's called Save Against Fear. It's our annual flagship fundraiser. Tons of board games, tons of role-playing games, tournaments, all kinds of wonderful panels and workshops. And we want to, of course, thank, in this episode, our largest sponsor, our co-sponsor for the event, LegendaryPants.com, which is a wonderful place that you can go for all kinds of blogspot articles about role-playing, Dungeons & Dragons, as well as some great player resources. So, again, thank you to everybody at Legendary Pants for helping get Save Against Fear to yet another year of wonderful. And thank you all for tuning in, as always. I have been, will always be, your friend, Jack Berkenstock of the Bodhana Group.
What? Oh, yes. And then I have been James Kirk. Come out to Save Against Fear. We're going to be running stuff. Tickets are right now on pre-sale. So
Yes,
you can get them
$30 for the
right
weekend.
now. $30 for the weekend. Come for the whole weekend. We have bathrooms.
What?
And then stay for the games.
Come for the bathroom, stay for the games?
I think I just invented our new marketing campaign.
You are a legitimate phenomenon.
Just
wow.
right off the shoulder.
And with that, folks, come for the bathrooms, stay for the games, not the formal tagline. This year, actually, Save Against Fear set in the 80s, so our theme is I love it when a con comes together.
Because you get to come for the bathroom and stay for the games.
What are you talking about? Come
Come to the bathrooms
stay for the games!
until you go to the bathroom.
Alright, but seriously, folks, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Gaming with Intention, the Bodhana-cast. Great games out there, everybody.
Okay then, bye-bye.
Bye.